Carolina because clearly I'm a crazy person, right? I almost feel, I believe that sometimes fans are the reason why something works or why it doesn't work. I think if fans stop showing up to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Scott Strickland will be forced to fire Billy Napier. Fans ain't gonna do that though. That's the power of fandom though. I feel like fandom, we create hopefulness. Sometimes that's why we feel so hopeless when our teams are playing awful. And so, with the Florida Gators, the way they started off this season, a lot like last year. And then what did they do? They went off, and I think they won 4 or 5 games in a row when Lagway came back. Dog, be faithful. Have faith. I believe that there is an opportunity, more than an opportunity, for the Florida Gators to get to the SEC title game. And I know some people probably saw the video that I made before, or hearing this right now and saying, shut up. What are you talking about? They're terrible. They're awful. Lagway threw 5 picks. What? I get that. But now I'm going to carve out the path so that it makes sense. Only a crazy person would do what I'm about to do, what I just did. I'm just sharing it with you, but I already did the crazy. All right? I just went through the entire SEC standings to see where everybody is right now. And then I looked at everybody's schedule individually to carve out a pathway to the Florida Gators getting to the SEC title game. Dog, do you know how crazy it would be for the Florida Gators to get to the title game? Do you know? That would be the story. Think about college football playoffs. Think about the playoffs and how they would talk about the Gators if the Gators are in the title game. They would talk about how they lost to USF to start the season. They would talk about how after that they lost to LSU. They would talk about how after that they lost to Miami. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Gators end up playing Miami in a rematch, either in the playoff or in the title game. But first they got to get to the SEC championship game, get through there, and then they can get into the playoffs. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to go through every single team in the SEC. I'm going to talk about the games I need them to lose. I'm not done critiquing the Gators just because I'm putting out this hope and this faith. Hope springs eternal. Just because I'm doing all this doesn't mean these guys have shown me that they're actually capable of getting there. They could literally lose next week and then all this is over with. But what I have seen, what I believe is not one SEC team is going to get there undefeated. And nobody can get to the SEC title game with more than 1 to 2 losses. South Carolina, stick a fork in them. They already got 2 losses. So they're going to leave my list off here. I only need South Carolina to play spoiler. I don't need them to lose to anybody else in the SEC. If they catch an L, that's fine. I don't care. But I need them to beat a majority of the teams that they're playing. All right? So, really quick, before I get to the list, let me just go through the SEC standings here. And what we have is Ole Miss is at the top. They're 2-0. They've already won their first 2 conference games. Off the top of my head, Ole Miss beat... Who did Ole Miss beat? Let's see here. Ole Miss has already beaten Arkansas 41-35 and Kentucky 30-23. Too close for comfort. Way too close for comfort. I think Ole Miss is probably one of those teams. I got to study them. I'm going to deep dive into the Ole Miss roster and those 2 games in particular. But I think they're more than likely going to be a team that is searching for an identity, a team that has a bunch of athletes, but a team that doesn't necessarily have that superstar guy on both sides of the ball. I'm sure they got talent, though, on both sides. I'm sure they do. So they can be a threat to anybody, but too close of a game with Kentucky, way too close of a game with Arkansas. I know Kentucky and Arkansas are going to play you tough, but still, way too close. All right, so I know they're susceptible. Here we go. Let's get into this list. Listen, dog, be hopeful. I'm telling you, there is a chance. All right? Start off with South Carolina. They already got 2 conference losses to Vanderbilt and Missouri. So as far as I'm concerned, they cannot afford to lose any more games in the SEC if they wanted to try to get to the college football playoff. But I don't see that happening. All I know about on their team is Lenora Sellers. Their best players, besides Lenoris, already went into the NFL draft last season. So they're done for. All I need them to do is to play spoiler, right? So they got LSU coming up on October 11th. That's a game that I need South Carolina to give LSU all the problems in the world. Hopefully get the dub so that we can get LSU to get their first SEC loss. They got Oklahoma on October 18th. Oklahoma does not have an SEC loss yet. I highly doubt John Mateer will be back for that game. Got to go ahead and clip them and give them their first L. That way we get them in Florida on an even playing field, right? They got Alabama October 25th. Their October schedule is insane. All right, so the fact that they already got 2 losses, that's how you know they're done, right? So Alabama on October 25th, I need South Carolina to give me an L there, to give them an L there, right? Then they got Ole Miss on November 1st. I need South Carolina to go ahead and knock Ole Miss off because now we're veering towards the end of the season, right? Don't know what Ole Miss is going to be looking like at that time. They're looking pretty good right now, but like I said, I don't have that much faith in Ole Miss. And then you got Texas A&M on November 15th. So October to November, South Carolina's schedule does not get any easier. Those are literally 5 games that I just listed right there that I need them to win. And they may not win. It's fine. All of these teams have some real challenging hurdles along the way. So that's just a short list, though, of who I need South Carolina to beat, to upset throughout the course of this season. All right, let's go to the next one, Arkansas. Arkansas has 1 conference loss so far to Ole Miss. So this is the type of team that could be sneaky enough to mess around and find their way in, but I do not have faith in Arkansas like that. Arkansas is the kind of team where I just need them to go ahead and pick up 1 to 2 more losses, and then I need them to play spoiler. All right, they already have spoiler energy written all over them. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Notre Dame this Saturday. So here are the teams that I need them to beat. They play Tennessee on October 11th. I need them to whoop that ass. I need them to get in there, give Tennessee problems that Tennessee didn't expect, and go ahead and, give Tennessee their second SEC loss. Now we're in a good place, right? Think about it. Tennessee, they're much better branding right now than Florida, but both Tennessee and Florida have 1 SEC loss. All right, this is the long game, baby. This is the long game. All right, so I'm not going to be too focused on anything that happened earlier in the season. I am thinking about how to play this long game. All right, who else does Arkansas have? We've got Texas A&M. That's October 18th. I need Arkansas to give Texas A&M the kinds of problems Texas A&M did not expect that they would have. All right, Auburn, October 25th. Toss-up game. Auburn already has 1 SEC loss. Need Auburn to pick up at least 2 more. I believe they can absolutely pick up those 2 losses. That's a perfect game for either one of these 2 teams to lose, right? LSU, that is one of their biggest rivals. I think just the fact that Arkansas and LSU has such a rivalry, there's going to be tensions that are very high, and LSU hasn't really started clicking yet on offense. Their defense is on point, but they haven't started clicking yet on offense, so there's an opportunity there. Unfortunately, that game isn't until November 15th, so LSU's got a lot of time to start kind of catching their groove and whatnot. That sucks. But if Arkansas can just do me one favor, one Christmas favor, early Christmas favor, give me that loss right there to LSU, because LSU, they're kind of looking the best, and maybe I feel that way because, Lagway just gave them 5 interceptions, and they just look so good, and 5 interceptions is crazy, but yeah. And then Arkansas, 2 more games. They got Texas on November 22nd, and then Missouri on November 29th. So, 6 games. 6 games. Arkansas, if y'all can just give me 3 spoiler games in that, I'll take it. And if you could just give me 3, I'll take LSU. I'll take Missouri. Missouri's a sneaky one, dog. They sneaky. I'm trying to tell you right now, keep a very close eye on them. Their schedule is nowhere near as hard as some of these other schools. But yeah, I'll take LSU, Missouri, and then Texas A&M. Let me get that. All right, Tennessee, I'd like that, but Tennessee, they also got a couple other games. They got a game against Florida, and when we got those matchups, those close head-to-head matchups, with Florida's playing somebody in particular, Florida can go ahead and give them that L, because then not only do they catch the L, but then Florida owns the tiebreaker. You dig? Let's keep it rolling. Next up, Kentucky. Okay, so listen, Kentucky's one of those schools that can literally sneak into the SEC title game because they don't play as hectic a schedule as some of the top schools do. Let's look at Kentucky really quick. They're currently only 0-1, just like Florida is, in the SEC. They lost that game to Ole Miss, 30-23. Now, with that said, if they can give me a couple upsets while still losing important games to other conference opponents, they would give me everything that I need. And I think they're going to be an underdog all the way through. That's kind of how it's always been for Kentucky. So here's a short list. I got about 6 schools up here that I need Kentucky to. It's not just about them losing. They got 1 loss. I need them to grab at least 2 more. Those 2 losses are in here for sure. Kentucky will not beat all these schools. All right. But I need them to upset at least 2 to 3 of these schools. They got South Carolina, and that game is tonight or tomorrow. Not sure. I got to double check. Let me see right now, really quick. South Carolina, Kentucky, tomorrow, Saturday. Yep. So they got South Carolina. Like I said, South Carolina already got 2 losses. So it's more important to me that Kentucky loses that game. So we go ahead and give Kentucky their 2 losses, and then they already know who they are for the rest of the season. They know we're just in spoiler mode. We're just trying to get to a bowl game. Perfect energy that I need them to have for the sake of my Florida Gators, right? Yeah. And then next, we got Georgia. That is October 4th. That's a game. Georgia has not taken any losses yet in the SEC. Kentucky, I don't know if they beat Georgia last season, but Georgia struggled with them. They struggled with them. They did not beat them as far as I know off the top of my head. Scrolling. Georgia won 13-12. That was such an ugly game. I remembered that. Next, Kentucky got Texas, October 18th. Texas doesn't have any SEC losses yet. Texas plays Florida in like 2 weeks or in a week. Florida's off this week, and then next week they got Texas. So that's a game I need Texas to lose more than I need Kentucky to lose, because I need Texas to rack up these losses in the SEC quick, fast. So then we got Tennessee, October 25th. We got Auburn, November 1st. And then we got Vanderbilt, November 22nd. So Kentucky can play a really strong role here. Based on these games here, this is not the toughest schedule. Let's be real. South Carolina is not the toughest opponent. Georgia, based on what we saw with Georgia and Tennessee, if you got any bit of a passing game, you could maybe give Georgia some trouble, And if you got any bit of a pass rush, then you can maybe give Georgia some trouble. If you got some run stopping abilities, you can give Georgia some trouble. So the SEC is up for grabs, dog. The SEC is up for grabs. There is no team in the SEC that's like as clear-cut a favorite as what Ohio State is. And Ohio State is only a clear-cut favorite because they got Jeremiah Smith and everybody's afraid of him. We don't got that guy in the SEC right now. All right? So this is a short list. 6 teams. Again, if Kentucky can give me at least 2 to 3 of these, we're in a good space, good spot. Next up, we got Tennessee. Tennessee is on a path to get to the SEC title game. I see it, and I don't like it. Okay? And they look good. All right? I could totally see Tennessee potentially ending up with a rematch against Georgia right now, the way things are, kind of just the way the season has started out already. All right? And TV would love it. It's the stories, the media, the narratives would be crazy. I'm sure they would bring Nico Iamaleava back into the mix just because of all this or whatever. So can't have that happen. Cannot afford it, dog. Luckily, Tennessee has already got 1 SEC loss. The Gators can go ahead and give them another one, take them out their misery, quick, fast. But here we go. I hate to say it, but I do see them potentially getting to the title game. So I need them to take a couple of these L's. I'm slightly conflicted in who I need them to beat, though, versus who I need them to lose to, because they are kind of in the driver's seat and they are very dangerous. They only have 1 conference loss thus far, like I said, so I'll list who I need them to beat, but I need them to lose to 1 other conference opponent. And like I said, preferably, I want them to lose to the Gators on November 22nd, so the Gators can have the tiebreaker, right? So here we go. Here's who I need them to lose to. Okay. Actually, I wrote down the teams I need them to beat. So I kind of messed this up a little bit, but that's fine. Perfectly fine. I need them to beat Alabama. That's on October 18th. Let me pull up their schedule right now, and I'll just do a quick who I need them to lose to as well. I need them to beat Oklahoma. That is November 1st. And then the Vanderbilt game, that's a toss-up, rivalry game. Vanderbilt's a little scary. Their schedule is nowhere near as hard as anybody else's in the SEC. So I probably am more so going to need Tennessee to beat Vanderbilt right there. I could totally see Vanderbilt sneaking up on everybody, dog. Vanderbilt could low-key be ranked in the top 10 in like 2 weeks. Be mindful. Be on high alert, fooling with Diego Pavia and his lawyer. What was I looking up? Tennessee, who I need them to lose to. There are a lot of opportunities here. They play Mississippi State. I don't see that happening. Arkansas, I could see that happening. Alabama, they play Alabama on October 18th. But I need Alabama to get their first SEC loss. They don't have one yet. So I'd rather Tennessee beat Alabama because Tennessee's already got an SEC loss. All right, this is the cannibalization that I need to take place in the SEC, right? And then they got Oklahoma. I listed them. Oklahoma does not yet have a conference loss. That's why I put them on this list of teams I need Tennessee to beat. And then they got the Gators on November 22nd. I need the Gators to get that dub. And then Vanderbilt. So there are a few teams here that they could lose to along the way. I could see them losing to Kentucky. I could see them losing to Arkansas. I just want them to beat Alabama and Oklahoma, but I can see them losing to both of those schools, especially Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's defense, top tier, right? But we'll see what happens with no John Mutier. Ha! You ain't know I'm about to hit you with that poetry. Here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Auburn. Auburn is pretty interesting because you see they are scrappy, they're athletic, and they have only one conference loss to Oklahoma. They look kind of good out there. I just don't know how much I believe in their passing attack, right? I need them to lose one more game, maybe even two, but I think I need them to lose to Arkansas. I need them to beat Texas A&M. That's coming up this Saturday. I need Texas A&M to catch that first L, dog. I don't like it. I don't like it. They're looking too good right now. They look like they're actually getting better and better every single week, and they're starting to catch a vibe with each other. They're starting to catch a groove. Marcel Reed last season gave Florida fits, all right? And I just see him getting better bit by bit by bit. They got a great running game. They got some really good receivers over there. I don't know what to say about Texas A&M, man. They are one of those teams that's in the driver's seat for sure. They're kind of scary, not gonna lie. All right. So I could totally use Auburn to give me an upset there. I could use Auburn to give me an upset against Georgia on October 11th. I can use Auburn to give me an upset against Missouri on October 18th. I can totally use Auburn to give me an upset, I guess it's an upset, against Vanderbilt. And that's November 8th. And then Auburn's got Alabama in the Iron Bowl, and that's November 29th. I need Auburn to win that game because I need Alabama to catch some L's quick, fast. Teams I need Auburn to lose to, Arkansas. Like I said, I need Arkansas to play that spoiler, that joker. Arkansas, that's October 25th. Kentucky, that's November 1st. Yeah, that's it. Those are the two games I need Auburn to lose 1 to 2 of those. Remember, like I said, the title, the two teams that are going to play for a title will probably have 1 to 2 losses in the SEC. All right, keeping it moving. Here we go. Alabama. Alabama easily has one of the toughest SEC schedules, and every school definitely wants to destroy them. They still have a target on their backs because of Nick Saban's success, but people can see them limping across the finish line, so to speak, this season. All right, they're catching a groove. Ty Simpson's catching a groove. Passing attack is looking much better than it did with Jalen Milroe. I think the offense is going to be able to be much better than it was with Jalen Milroe because they were such a quick, fast, a team that can strike so quickly that they were never a team that can control the pace of the game. They were never the type of team that can win time of possession. They instead were the type of team we can just score so fast that we're going to rush our defense back out on the field, even though our defense needs to rest. That was the biggest issue with Alabama last year, okay? They were too explosive, and they didn't know how to slow it down and win the game. Kind of like how when I first started having sex, I would just blow my load so quickly. And, you know, that type of stuff kind of still happens sometimes, you know? It just can be like that. No, I'm just kidding. So here we go. I need them to lose at least 2 of these games that I'm going to list here. Because, yeah, I need them to, like I said, this is all about the Gators. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the fact, and the Gators have been so bad for so long, bruh. I got to have something to hope for, dog. I shouldn't even be doing this right now. I got things I need to be working on right now, but this is what I'm doing. It's insane. I've been spending the last, like, 2.5 hours on this. It's ridiculous. So let me hurry up and let me finish this. I need them to lose to Georgia. That's coming up tomorrow, Saturday, September 27th. It's going to be a good-ass game, but I need Alabama. Either Alabama or Georgia can take that loss, but Georgia doesn't have as hard of a schedule as Alabama does in the SEC. So, yeah, so when I say that, I'm going to take it back. I need Georgia to lose that game. All right, so scrap that. I need Georgia to lose that game. But here are the games that I need Alabama to lose. I need them to... I wrote Vanderbilt on here, but I'm going to take that back because, like I said, Vanderbilt doesn't have the toughest schedule either. So I need Vanderbilt to lose to Alabama when that time comes. Missouri, I wrote them. But again, I need Missouri to lose to Alabama because Missouri does not have the toughest schedule either. So, Jesus, the first 3 teams I wrote, I got to scrap them. Here's where Alabama can really start catching some L's. Tennessee, October 18th. South Carolina, October 25th. LSU, November 8th. Oklahoma, November 15th. John Mateer will probably be back for that, I would imagine, so we'll see. And then Auburn, Iron Bowl, November 29th. I need Alabama to give me at least 1 to 2 L's in that range. I could totally see it happening. Ain't no Nick Saban here. If Nick Saban was around, I wouldn't really be that hopeful because I know he coaches on a week-to-week basis. I know he finds a way to flush out the fuck shit from the week before, flush out losses, flush out bad performances, get guys to see how they can be better. And I think Kalen DeBoer, nothing like that right now. Maybe he needs this pressure to start figuring out how he needs to approach game planning each week. But based on what we saw last year they lost to Vanderbilt, so there ain't no way they gonna lose. There's no way they lose to Vanderbilt 2 years in a row. But they still got a long list of opponents here that they can lose to. And I wrote that they should lose to LSU November 8th, but I don't know. That's a game I might need them to win based on where LSU is at that time. Right now, just see this as a list of possible entryways, possible paths for the Gators to get to the SEC title game. And this is just me. I really just started this as a way for me to know how possible this is. But here we go. Let's keep it rolling. I'm not trying to keep you here all night. Texas schedule is nowhere near as difficult as anybody else's in the SEC. But there are games here that can trip up the Longhorns. I'm not just going to list top teams as teams I need them to lose to. I need them to beat Oklahoma on October 11th because Oklahoma does not have any conference losses yet. And the sooner the conference champ leader picture can begin looking clearer, the better, right? With that said, there are certain teams that are just straight up a toss-up. Like I know I need Texas to beat Georgia on November 15th because they're still undefeated. Might need them to beat Texas A&M. So here, let's go to the list. Shorter list, much shorter list. I need Texas to lose to Florida next week, October 4th. Florida loses that game, it's over. I don't know. I might not even want to watch any more games for the rest of the season. I'm just kidding, but no, seriously. Florida has to win that game. Gotta win that game. Bruh, it ain't no negotiation about this. It ain't no cute shit. I think they can win that game. That'll be the game right there where the Gators can really get their season moving forward. They got a whole extra week to prepare now. So y'all gotta come into this game on some. You feel me? You feel me? Arch went to Ohio State. That was cute. Now he finna come into the swamp. Oh, gotta sweat his ass out. Gotta put his ass in the sauna. Get his ass in the sauna. He ain't. All right, here we go. Texas, Kentucky. And that is on October 18th. Texas, Vanderbilt, November 1st. Arkansas, November 22nd. And Texas A&M, November 28th. I need Texas to give me 2 L's. 2 L's. So Florida is 1. And they could decide the next one, whichever one they want, out of Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Texas A&M. I could see them losing to Arkansas. I could see them losing to Vanderbilt. You think Diego Pavia doesn't want to have a one-on-one showdown with Arch Manning, where people are talking about how Diego Pavia came and showed Arch Manning out, and now he's talking trash in the media about this, that, and you think you think he don't want that? You don't think Vanderbilt can't kind of surprise Texas? Because let's be clear, Texas is not that damn good. Okay, their receivers aren't that nice with it. If they were, I think they would be helping Arch a little bit more. I know some of his passes ain't exactly always where they need to be. Sometimes he's behind, sometimes it's low. But if I'm a wide receiver coach at Texas, I'm letting those guys know, y'all see what we working with. So everything he throw, I need y'all to just be able to be stickier with it, period and point blank. But they not that nice with it. Texas's strength to me is their defense. So there are plenty of opportunities here for them to catch an L. right? Let's keep it rolling. Texas A&M, they are dangerously good this season. Like I said, but they got a couple. But I need them to get a couple of conference losses. At least one. At least one. They kind of scare me a little bit. All right. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. But they mess around and catch that first loss, we can start seeing some more of those weaknesses, right? All right. So here we go. Keeping it rolling. I need Texas A&M to lose to Auburn. That is this Saturday, September 27th. I need Texas A&M to then lose again 2 weeks later to Florida on October 11th. And then they can decide whatever the hell they want to do with their season. They got Arkansas on October 18th. They got Missouri on November 8th. That's probably a game that I need Texas A&M to win, hopefully after they've lost to Florida and Auburn, because Missouri, like I said, their schedule is not that difficult. Then they got South Carolina on November 15th. I need Texas A&M. I need South Carolina to win that game just to make sure. Go ahead and give them that final gut punch. Let's say Texas A&M beats Auburn. Good. Now we know Auburn got 2 conference losses. Get them out of there. But then we need Florida to win, and then who's next? Who gets that next win? Is it South Carolina on November 15th, or is it Texas, November 28th? Gotta just have it happen, all right? This is the gauntlet that I'm talking about. The SEC will cannibalize itself, and I'm here to see it ahead of schedule. You dig? I'm already here. I'm already seeing it, all right? Nostradamus, whatever. I'm seeing it already. I am ahead of the schedule, okay? Literally, I'm ahead of the schedule. I'm ahead of the dates. I'm already mapping it out. You dig? So, people who have lost faith, you ain't got to lose faith. Let's just find a way to see the possibilities, and then let's just go week to week, all right? Mississippi State. I just need Mississippi State to keep being Mississippi State. You know, as far as who I need them to lose to, they're more than likely gonna lose to Georgia, Ole Miss, Missouri, Florida, hopefully. All right, Tennessee, but you never know. All right. So long as they surprise someone, though, like Texas, they play Texas on October 25th, and Missouri on November 15th, then we're good. If Mississippi State can give me those 2, or just one of those 2, thank you, y'all boys. I appreciate you. You dig? Let's keep it rolling. Georgia. I need them to lose to somebody fast. I'm so sick of Kirby Smart finding a way to win these games. Now, you see Kirby Smart is a guy who's clearly a good coach. His team is nowhere near as talented as the Florida Gators roster. They are not. They're not. And they still find ways to win. All the while, you got the Florida Gators who just keep finding ways to lose. They're inventing ways to lose, coming up with random-ass penalties, and then not being able to overcome those penalties. That's how you know you got a struggling team. All right, but I'm not here to come for the Gators. It's so hard for me not to be a truth teller and not to say what I see. But I'm just keeping it a buck. Kirby Smart finds a way to win those games. You feel me? But here we go. Here's who I need Georgia to catch an L from. Hopefully 2. But the schedule is just not as tough as everybody else's. They got Alabama this week, and then they got Kentucky. That is on October 4th. Then they got Auburn, October 11th. Then they got Ole Miss. That's when I think that can happen, on October 18th. Then they got Florida, November 1st. Come on, let's go! Let's go! We need that dub. You feel me? Okay, then we got Texas on November 15th. I'm just not that crazy about Texas right now. I think they need another year. I think this year Texas is figuring out their offense. Arch Manning is figuring out college football. Next year, I think they come back and they're probably one of the best teams next year. They're going to kill it in the portal. Arch is going to get better. I've already said in another one of my videos, I feel like Arch is baby Josh Allen. It's forming. It's happening. You can see it in the run game already. You can see he's more than willing. He loves the run game. He's comfortable there, and he's figuring out the mechanics. He's figuring out the offense. Next year, they'll probably get some really good wide receivers, really sticky wide receivers, really explosive wide receivers that can just separate from jump. They'll be all right, but next season, not this year. All right, they just haven't had anybody but Ohio State to really show them. You feel me? Here we go, keeping it rolling. Vanderbilt. They're one of the sneakiest SEC teams. They're already ranked. and they're currently undefeated. Ridiculous. All right, they're playing their best, like ever, and I need them to come back down to earth and catch an L fast. Still need them to beat some teams. So I need them to beat LSU on October 18th. I need them to beat Missouri on October 25th. I need them to beat Tennessee potentially on October 29th. But here's who I need them to lose to. I need them to lose to Alabama on October 4th. Like I said, they don't have any SEC losses. So they're the type of team that can literally sneak their ass up into the SEC championship game, because you just didn't realize that Vanderbilt hasn't gotten any losses, or they've only gotten one, and everybody else cannibalized each other. Can't have that happen. Alabama is October 4th. Then we got Texas, November 1st. Auburn, November 8th. And then Tennessee, November 29th. That's a toss-up. I don't know which one I'm going to need the most at that time. Like I said, Tennessee, I need them to lose to Florida. Florida can't really get caught up in losing any more games, even though I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And if they did, that shit already stressing me out. If they did, then all this stuff I'm doing right now, it's not all for naught if the top teams also have 2 losses. But if everybody's got 2 losses at the top, let's say it's 4 teams that got 2 losses at the top, now we're doing the whole tiebreaker bullshit. Can't afford it. You dig? Keeping it rolling. Almost done. Oklahoma losing John Mateer was the biggest gift for the Florida Gators. I'm not happy about it from the standpoint of being a person, a human being. I was enjoying watching John Mateer play, but I'm a Gator fan through and through. That's just the truth. I do break down all games in general. I love the game more than I love the Gators. That's the truth. But I love the Gators. Big fan since Danny Warfel. That's just what it is. You feel me? So yeah. Anyways, here's who I need Oklahoma to lose to. Texas. Red River rival. Red River. You say it. Over there laughing. Red River rivalry. Say that 5 times fast. Red River rivalry. 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 Okay, it's not that hard actually. Anyways, Texas. That's October 11th. South Carolina, October 18th. Ole Miss, October 25th. Nice little challenging schedule right there. And I don't think they'll have John Mateer for any of that. So just give me 2 L's fast, okay? And then I can just stop watching y'all, and I can stop caring about y'all and stop stressing about y'all. But anyways, keeping it rolling. Need them to potentially lose to Tennessee on November 1st. Need them to potentially lose to Alabama on November 15th. And I don't know. I might need to take that back because I don't know who all is going to beat Alabama yet. And I think a lot of teams can beat Oklahoma without John Mateer. So I might more so need Oklahoma to beat Alabama at that time. We got to take this week to week. Right now, I'm just giving the whole overview. I'll be back on this. I will be back to follow up on the SEC cannibalization process. But starting it off, and there's so many games to go, it's going to be wacky like this. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be asking for a lot from the college football gods. You feel me? I'm asking for a lot. I just got to say it, though. You got to put it out there. All right? And then Missouri. I'll probably more so need Oklahoma to beat Missouri because we haven't talked about Missouri's schedule yet. I don't see that many challenges for them right now. So I need Missouri to catch some L's, and I think there are plenty of teams here that can beat Oklahoma. So scratch that. I need Oklahoma to win that game. Then we got LSU. That's November 29th. And then I wrote here I may actually prefer that Oklahoma beats LSU at the season's end, especially if Mateer returns. But I don't know how many L's LSU will have at that time. So ultimately, every single team in the SEC, I need them to be playing spoiler, so that the Gators can just kind of quietly just be sneaking their way back up to the top, quietly getting back ranked again, probably back ranked like 14th, 15th, 16th or whatever. Because the Gators already found a way to have 3 losses, 4 games, 3 losses. Come on, bro. Embarrassing, bro. It's crazy that I'm even talking like this. They got 3 losses and they lost to USF. The thing about the Gators is they didn't even really just lose to USF. That's just the name of the team they was playing. They lost to themselves. They didn't come out there ready to play. They sloppy. I don't think they're the most well-enduranced team. They don't have the right mindset. Why can't y'all pull out wins like Georgia? It's coaching. Here we go. Almost done. Missouri. Missouri is a sneaky-ass team. They're already ranked, and they have yet to take an L this season. That's troubling, all right, especially when you see the schedule. They can definitely sneak into the title game and the playoffs. They don't have the scariest schedule by far, but there are no SEC teams that can get out of facing a team in the SEC that's considered better than them or ranked higher. All right, because almost every one of these teams are going to face a Georgia, an LSU, or an Alabama, etc., or an Oklahoma, etc. I need them to beat some teams, but I don't know which teams yet. Maybe Alabama on October 11th, and maybe Texas A&M on November 8th. But here's a short list of games I know I need them to lose. I know I need them to lose to Auburn on October 18th. I know that much. Auburn's already got one SEC loss, Missouri don't. So we got to go ahead and just tack that on, right? Wax that ass, all right? Tax that ass. Wax it. It's 4:50 in the morning, dog. All right, so I'm a little wired right now. Vanderbilt. I need Missouri to lose to Vanderbilt right here. All right, that's October 25th. All right. Mississippi State. I need Missouri to lose to Mississippi State. Remember, like I said, I'm going to be tracking all this. All right, so tap in with me. Mississippi State. That's November 15th. All right, and then Arkansas, November 29th. You know I'm doing a lot when I'm over here tracking Arkansas and Mississippi damn State. I'm doing a lot. But this is what I'm doing for the Gators. LSU. Let's talk about LSU. LSU's schedule is fairly tough. All right. There's no Georgia, no Tennessee, but they do have challenges on here. They are still undefeated, so I need them to do more losing than spoiling right now. Let's focus on the losing. All right? Let's focus on that. I don't want y'all to be prepared for y'all next game. I don't want y'all to be prepared for the game after that. I don't want y'all to do good at practice. I need y'all to start being focused on dumb shit that gets you to be completely distracted, like women at school and, politics and religion. All kinds of shit that can make you hate your teammates and make you not show up. That's what I need from the LSU Tigers. All right? They're still undefeated, so like I said, I need them to do more losing than spoiling right now. Didn't mean to repeat myself. I'm essentially preying on their downfall harder than anybody else in the SEC right now. I think I'm preying on LSU and Texas A&M's downfall more than anybody else. All right, and that's mostly because LSU already beat Florida. So if let's just say something happens and Florida and LSU if their record is the same conference-wise towards the end of the year, let's say Texas A&M ends up being the team that's Georgia is the team that's about to go to the championship game, and they only got one SEC loss, and then Florida and LSU got two or whatever. LSU's going because LSU owns the tiebreaker. You dig? So here we go. Here's who I need LSU to lose to. I see. I'm focused on this because I wrote 7 schools. Ole Miss. That's coming up this Saturday. South Carolina. That is October 11th. Vanderbilt, October 18th. Texas A&M, October 25th. Love the fact that LSU and Texas A&M will be playing each other because one of them got to catch an L. Ain't no way around it. Alabama, November 8th. See this? Let me finish this and I'm going to say what I was going to say. Arkansas, November 15th. Oklahoma, November 29th. This is what I love about the SEC. It ain't no getting out alive. LSU, they all up in the top 5 right now, and then they still got to play Alabama? They still got to play Texas A&M? It ain't no getting out alive. It ain't no getting out being undefeated. Somebody going to catch one of these L's. Whether LSU wants to or not, they're likely to catch an L. And let's say they win all these games. I know Texas A&M is going to catch an L then, and I know Alabama's going to catch an L. So that's all I'm saying. Cannibalize each other. Turn up. All right, who that was doing that? Jeffrey Dahmer? I need Jeffrey Dahmer energy all up and through the SEC, you dig? I need that. Okay, and I think this is the last team on here, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is currently 2-0 in the conference standings. I need them to do some losing and some spoiling, both. But because they are currently undefeated, I need them to focus mostly on losing right now. I'm torn between them playing Georgia on October 15th and LSU on September 27th, but I'll add both of them below, both of them as teams that I need Ole Miss to potentially lose to because all 3 are undefeated. So I just need them to get into the pit together and just start tearing at each other and just, on some gladiator shit, somebody ain't coming out alive. You feel me? All right, so here's a list of teams I need them to catch an L from and fast because they don't have that many teams on here. They just happen to have teams that are pretty good. So Ole Miss got LSU coming up on September 27th. That's this Saturday. I more so need Ole Miss to lose that one because then they'll catch their first L, and LSU's got a bunch of games where they can catch that L. So I mostly need Ole Miss to go ahead and lose so we can go ahead and just start knocking them out the way. Ole Miss plays Florida later. Florida can have that opportunity to not only own the tiebreaker, but to make sure Ole Miss is done for, just like they did last season. You feel me? Would love that. That's like poetry. Then we got Georgia, October 18th. I don't know. I'm probably more so going to need Ole Miss to, I might more so need Ole Miss to win that one. But we'll see. Because like I said, Georgia's schedule is not that crazy. Oklahoma, October 25th. South Carolina, November 1st. And then Florida, November 15th. Guys, this is a short list of the path forward. If you believe, this is for you. If you believe this segment of what I'm doing here, this video, this is for you. This is a foxhole for you to find some faith, some hope, some a way forward, possibility, possible outcomes. This is how it happens. This is how it would happen. All right. I'm going to tap back in and week out, paying attention to what happened the week before so that I can make sense of how this would happen. Now, again, if the Gators start getting to losing, none of the SEC teams' schedule is harder than the Gators. Not one. The Gators have the toughest schedule, if you ask me. Gators, Bama, and LSU got the toughest schedules. Gators got Texas, then they got Texas A&M, and then Mississippi State. But I'm not gonna act like Mississippi State's not important. Can't do that. Cannot do that. All right. Let's start over. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Come on, man. Texas A&M is undefeated. Texas is ranked 10th. Texas A&M is ranked 9th. Georgia is ranked 5th. Ole Miss is ranked 13th. Tennessee is ranked 15th. They have 5 opponents in the SEC that are all ranked 15th, all ranked from 1 to 15th. Florida's got the toughest schedule in the SEC, so there could very well be a week where my energy is just, I'm dejected because we literally came up short against damn Kentucky out of all of these schools. But I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be hopeful. I'm not going to live where Billy Napier wants me to live. Billy Napier clearly don't give a fuck about me. Clearly. Look, all right, guys. I didn't know how long this video was going to be. I just knew I wanted to share this because I wanted somebody else to not only witness my crazy, but to see there's a way forward. I'm not just talking. There's a way forward. These guys got to lose. There has to be cannibalization. They have to lose. They cannot. It can't. Come on. Really quick before I go, let me just show you something. So this right here is for parents. My wife and I, we wrote a book to honor and commemorate. Commemorate? Is that how you say that word? I think it is commemorate. Damn. Embarrassing. My wife and I, we wrote a book to honor. Honor just sounds so weird. Whatever. We wrote a book to, why am I struggling with this? We wrote a book to honor our son's first year of life. He's currently 16 months old now. Our son was born on May 11th, 2024. Yes. And it's not even available yet. It's almost available right now. We're getting proofs. I just want to let you know. The book is called Amor Turns 1. Amor Turns 1. So this is a children's book. It's going to be for, kids to 4, I think 0 to 4 or something like that, whatever. So yeah, I'll be sharing this. I'll plug this a couple more times in the future. But it's all about a baby's first year in poetry and art. And we spent a lot of time, working on the illustrations. This book is based on, moments of his life. Not just moments, that's not the word I want to use. It's based on highlights of his life from, being, having just been born to turning 1 year old. So, first teeth coming in, tummy time, him walking, taking his first steps, etc. This is the cover page right here that's based on this image that this is what happened. Like, we took him there for his birthday. And so we kept rolling with it, and we've been inspired by his life in general, and inspired by his growth, his his energy, you know, he's inspiring to be around. You know, he was walking by 9 months. 9 months he was already walking, and now he's running up and down the place. He's climbing on stuff. He's terrorizing the kitchen floor, throwing food all over the place. It's pretty hectic. But you know, here, I'll just show you one page real quick, and then I'll get out of here. This page, yeah. So, you know, it'll be a great book. I think it'll be a great gift for, if not you, for maybe friends, family. And so what I'll do is I'm gonna ask my wife for the link, maybe not in this video, but I'll start sharing it in videos. It'll be in my description below or whatever. But back to what this was about. This is really ultimately more so about the Gators than anything else. Listen, if you got to this part of the video, man, I can't thank you enough. I almost don't even know what to say, you know, because you could have been anywhere in the world, and you here with me. Come on, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I don't even, you know. Thank you. Thank you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. Please. And hopefully next week we're going to be talking about how, you know, we're going to be talking about how Ole Miss and LSU went at it, and LSU got their first loss, or Ole Miss got their first loss. Hopefully next week we're talking about Georgia and Alabama and who got their first loss. More so need Georgia to catch that first L, because Georgia's schedule don't look like Alabama's. Alabama's schedule is much more challenging. Hopefully next week we're talking about Texas A&M and Auburn and how Texas A&M got their first loss. Because we need to bring a lot of these teams back down to earth, and it's just too easy to come for the Gators right now. It's way too easy, and ultimately the only way for this to work is for other teams to start losing. You got Kentucky and South Carolina. Hopefully Kentucky's already lost, and South Carolina's lost. So I would like Kentucky to go ahead and catch an L there. And yeah, guys, thank you. Listen, I'm out of here. I need to go to sleep, but I still gotta edit this, so I don't know what time I'm gonna get to bed. Listen, I'm out. Thank you for watching this video, and please just be hopeful. Let's put out that good energy. Let's be faithful to the process. You feel me? Hopefully the Gators can get to the title game. I'm gonna be making a video to break down their game against Miami. I saw some stuff that just was very alarming from a lot of the players that are considered top picks, potential first rounders. I'm gonna be the person that's the eye in the sky, and I'm gonna put that out there, and not just for my channel, but maybe it's gonna be to hold those guys accountable, so that maybe some scout somewhere is gonna see those videos and be like, "What the fuck is this?" If they haven't already seen it, I'm gonna call it out, because I don't know if Billy Napier is keeping them accountable. I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to coach him from afar. That's what this is. This is Coach Daniel. This is the Coach Daniel show. They don't want to hire me, so I'm gonna have to do it from afar. That's what this is. I'm Coach Hopeful. Coach Hope. Coach Hope? I'm not mad at that. Coach Hope. Coach Hope. Coach Hope. All right, y'all.